Dangote refinery may resort to exporting its premium motor spirit following the refusal of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to be the sole buyer of its products. These are just speculations by some Nigerians, but let's go into the actual story now. The NNPC, in a statement by spokesman Olufemi Soneye, said on Saturday that it would not buy Dangote fuel unless it was cheaper than that of the international market. This is contrary to claims by the president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, that the refinery was waiting for the NNPC to roll out its products. On Saturday, the NNPC stated that it would not fully offtake petrol from the refinery if the market prices of PMS were higher than the pump prices in Nigeria. Now, the NNPC also declared that Dangote and other domestic refineries were free to sell directly to any marketer on a willing buyer, willing seller basis, adding that it had no desire or intention to become the distributor for any entity in a free market environment. Now, the company was reacting to a press release by the Muslim rights concern, which claimed that Dangote refinery was being undermined by the NNPC. Now, before we move on with the story, there were speculations where people were saying, oh, Dangote, it looks like Dangote is under the NNPC because it looks like the NNPC are the ones actually reading out these conditions, and too many, the people felt like they had too much control over Dangote refinery. And that was actually one of the speculations by this report that the NNPC had to respond to. Now, and Dangote also had to respond to that. Now, responding, the NNPC said the pricing of petroleum products from any refinery, including Dangote Refineries Limited, is determined by global market forces. Okay, so there are different segments of this story. There are different sites that have been mentioned, down to speculations by people on the hold of NNPC on Dangote refineries, down to NNPC's reply, down to Dangote's reply, down to NNPC saying you can sell to any of the marketers that are willing to buy from you. How do you think that will impact the petroleum sector?
I have always said here that I will only be joyful if the production of, or the refining of crude from Dangote refinery, the PMS, becomes more affordable by Nigerians. That's only day I'll be joyful. That, oh, that now we have Dangote refinery working. Now you can begin to see why my fears was being raised, or is being raised, because if the Dangote is still going to sell NNPC or sell independent marketers with the price that they buy internationally from international market, so the big question is, what is now the advantage? What is now so special in buying from the Dangote refinery? Is
that your fear? You said your fears. What were your fears?
My fear is, will the PMS, gotten from Dangote refinery, will it reduce the price of PMS, petrol, at the filling station where the common Nigerian man buys? From the 1,200 or 1,300, maybe now to 700 naira, or to 600 naira, or to 500 naira. If it has nothing to do with price reduction, it's as useless as the situation we are in. So we were clamoring, trusting that, oh, Dangote refinery is going to help reduce the price of PMS. That was what many Nigerians were expecting. And some of us understand that it may not be so. So people also feel that, which I thought or assume, that there should have been a clear understanding between the Dangote refinery, the federal government, and the NNPC. You
feel there's no clear understanding between them?
In terms of the transactions, or if it is partnership, Or, of course, Dangote bought the crude. It was not given to them for free to refine for Nigerians. So there was a business transaction. They bought with the amount of money that NNPC could give to them. So my own is, I do not know how much they bought from NNPC, but all we were advocating and agitating is that at least Dangote is complaining that they don't have crude to refine, right? Please give them crude, because all of us felt that it's going to be a way out for our petroleum challenge. You know, so I want to encourage and request that there should be a good understanding with the is it DPR, the people who are in charge of price, and then the NNPC, the Dangote, the independent marketers. Let there be an understanding, knowing fully well that Dangote is also going to make profit, but let his profit desire do not still cost Nigerians more pains.
So what do you have to say about Dangote's response? Remember that Dangote had said that the NNPC would have to decide when it comes to pricing. Theirs is just to make sure that the product is available.
No. You see, it's a political or diplomatic statement. Dangote is not responsible for the price of PMS at the filling station. He's only responsible in the sale, the wholesale of that product. So how you now sell at your filling station is your sole responsibility. And that's why he's talking about the NNPC. Because NNPC, of course, they sell PMS. Dangote is not selling PMS at the filling station. So it's them that will determine the pricing that Nigerians have to, afford in getting this product.
With all of this back and forth with pricing, even before we are buying it, even before we're hearing that it's already bought, don't you see some underplay? Do you actually think that there's some underplay here? Do you think that this is someone trying to prepare the minds of Nigerians for what is coming?
No, you see, there is nothing new that will come that will take us unaware again as Nigerians. Because we are used to inflation. We are used to sudden changes. Because all we understand is that there are people who are in leadership, also in business, who have lost their conscience. They have lost, the love for their fellow humanity and the desire for wealth creation, in the desire of more money making. I want to plead and request that Dangote, as a businessman, as a company, and the NNPC should come up with an understanding. If I do not know, that's why I said I don't want to preempt. I do not know the rates for which the crude was sold to Dangote group of companies. But if there was a price reduction in the purchase of the crude from the NNPC first, because you cannot charge me high as a businessman in getting the product, and you now expect me to sell below price. So I think there is a good, grant for the NNPC to give the Aliko Dangote group of companies, the refinery, product on a subsidized price, on a reduced price. Because if Dangote is given on a more reduced price, Nigerians can now challenge Aliko Dangote. How come we have reduced the price of our product, right, to you? To enable you also now reduce the product for us to have.
So they should have an agreement. We reduce the price of crude oil. You give subsidy for your fuel.
Of course. So I think if that is being done, I believe that it will be more business, it should be a more better business deal. That Aliko Dangote now understands that there have been price reduction as far as selling this PMS to Nigerians. Of course, if he's exporting the PMS outside, he can sell at his price desire. But once it has to do with Nigeria, that have given him this product on a reduced price, then he owes us that obligation to also sell us, that product on a reduced price, so that the NNPC and the independent marketers can also sell to Nigerians on a reduced price. So my request is that if that is not what is, on the transaction, because this is not the only time Dangote will need their crude. So in Dangote desire for crude, when they want, as they are purchasing, the NNPC, the federal government, should give a reduction waiver price for Dangote refinery to get these products on a reduced price. And then Dangote refinery too to have an agreement with the NNPC, with the federal government of Nigeria, that is giving them this reduction, to say, we are giving you this price so that you can sell PMS to us with this amount, to enable us give out to Nigerians on this subsidized price.
Now, the understanding we had previously was that the NNPC would be the only people buying. That's from Nigeria. Now, they'll buy from Dangote, and then we'll have the independent marketers buy from the NNPC. That was the understanding before now. But now with this statement by the NNPC, that has been clarified. So how do you think, what kind of effects do you think this would have down to the pricing of petrol from fuel stations, which you have said should be one of the focus here when we talk about the common man, since the common man is involved. So how do you think that will actually affect pricing?
If the NNPC cannot afford it, the independent marketers may not be able to afford.
Why would you say the NNPC cannot afford?
Because NNPC have told you here that if Dangote PMS is not better than the one they buy from the international market,
price, yes. If it's more expensive,
yes, they may not be compelled to buy. So that tells you there is a problem. And most of the independent marketers have bought their product from the NNPC, from the subsidized amount that the NNPC used to buy from the international market, and then reduce it to independent marketers here in Nigeria, who now add part of their profit. So if the NNPC cannot purchase the PMS from the Dangote refinery, it means the independent marketers cannot also purchase it. So the federal government to the NNPC have been doing a kind of subsidy for independent marketers to enable them have this product and sell to Nigerians. But if NNPC cannot afford, then independent marketers cannot afford.
That would even make Dangote reduce the price, don't you think?
No. Dangote has the capacity. He has already mentioned to you that if the NNPC is not buying, they will be forced to export this product to other countries that needs it. It's
not like they were not going to export the product before.
No.
What difference does it make?
If we can consume what Dangote is producing,
we can't even consume everything.
It's possible.
No, it's for the refinery is not feeding only Nigeria. It's for West Africa.
We do not.
So we cannot say we consume everything that we
No, you see, the intention, the primary focus is for Nigeria.
Primary focus is for sales.
You see,
Nigeria is not out of it because the refinery is here in Nigeria. But saying that he will export if we don't buy, he already had plans to export.
No. You see, if with our desire, nobody is saying that it should be limited. Like I said, that if the product is given to Dangote refinery on a reduced price,
we heard that part.
That when he's selling to Nigeria, NNPC, he should sell it on a reduced price.
That's not the case now. So we're working with what the case is
now,
at the moment.
The challenge we are having, like I've made it clearly that Dangote refinery should reduce their price to enable the NNPC and independent marketers to be able to buy.
You just explained what I said earlier. I guess you probably didn't hear me. You said if the NNPC cannot buy from Dangote, how would the independent marketers want to buy? You understand? And I said if the NNPC and the independent marketers at the end of the day are not buying from Dangote, that might actually make him further reduce the price so that he can get the Nigerian market back?
No, that's on the compulsion aspect. His intention is to make profit.
He's a businessman.
No. You see, he's not telling you that he lacks market globally.
Exactly.
So if you cannot afford, they are already telling you that we will export this product.
Which was the initial plan.
So meaning that with or without you, the product will be sold. So if you do not want to patronize Dangote refinery product, other countries are willing to patronize.
Okay, so you don't think it will make him reduce the price in any way? It won't affect the price?
Yeah, not at all.
But okay, that's in a case where the NNPC cannot afford, like you have said, or do not want to buy, because according to them, if it's more expensive inside than outside, we'll continue buying from outside. Now let's assume, that's on one side. Let's look at the other side. Let's assume it is something that the NNPC want to buy because the price is lower than what they get from outside. Follow me. Now, at that point, and we have the NNPC buying, we have independent marketers buying, how do you see that affecting pump price?
If it is affordable.
Yes.
Once it is affordable, the pump price will naturally reduce. Why Nigerians are hailing the production and refining of Dangote products is because they now believe that the price rates or tag for the PMS is high.
What difference, now follow me, what difference will it make if it's just the NNPC buying and then the marketers buying from the NNPC, right? If it's just NNPC getting petrol from Dangote and then marketers are getting from the NNPC, that's on one side. That's going to be different from where it's open to everybody. If it was open to just the NNPC now, which was the initial idea that we were given, now the NNPC has said anybody can buy. So what difference do you think that will make to the pump price?
I think maybe you need to understand my point. If NNPC says anybody can buy, it means that the price Dangote refinery will sell to NNPC is the same price they will sell to the independent marketers. And the independent marketers will be able to buy and still be able to sell maybe on a higher rate. Because now that subsidy where the federal government or the NNPC used to reduce for them, according to what the NNPC tells us, they buy with a particular amount and then they sell on a particular amount to independent marketers. So at this point now, it will be affected because Dangote refinery is still selling them on a higher amount, much more than what the NNPC used to buy from international market and give to them. So that's why we are saying that if the Dangote refinery reduces her price different from the global market, the international market where the NNPC used to buy and then subsidize for independent marketers and to Nigerians. Hence, if the price of Aliko Dangote is what the NNPC used to buy in the international market, and the independent marketers now go and buy from Dangote, the price of PMS will increase higher. Are you getting my point? Because why? There is no longer subsidy that they are enjoying from NNPC through the federal government. So now they are going to buy from same price that the NNPC used to buy internationally, and then reduce the price for independent marketers so that they can afford, sell to Nigerians to afford. But now if Dangote is selling them at the price that NNPC used to buy from international market, how will the price of PMS come down? So that's why we are pleading that there should be an intentional understanding, an intentional, trade by barter, by saying that, okay, we'll give you this crude, right, on a discounted rate, so that when you finish refining, you will equally sell us this crude on a discounted rate. Is that correct? So at that point, that's the only way Nigerians can enjoy the blessing of the Dangote refinery.
All right, thank you for your recommendations. Let's look at the next story now.